Hey guys, I really wanted to make this video today, tomorrow, on the 6th at 5 a.m. Pacific time. So for us here on the Eastern time, that'll be 8 a.m. There's going to be a Smash Brothers video all about Terry Bogard in Smash. Terry is my favorite fighting game character. I'm really happy he's going to be in Smash Brothers Ultimate. The video is supposed to be 45 minutes long, and it's just about Terry. It's the longest Smash Brothers video that Sakurai has done about a single character since they've been releasing extra characters. So this will be pretty interesting to see what all he talks about. But today I just want to talk about my favorite video game character and play some of his games on here that he's been in. Now I'm wearing this Fatal Fury hat. This was from Fangamer, the most recent Fatal Fury hat I've seen released. It's probably the most accurate Fatal Fury hat that's been released by anybody. So it is still available at fangamer.com. There's also a lot of other really cool SNK and Neo Geo shirts there. The shirt I'm wearing, it's not really showing up in the video, but this is the tank top of my Shiranui that came with SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. It also came with this hat, this Fatal Cutie hat that the female version of Terry wears in that game. And I have some other Fatal Fury hats I've purchased in the past, one of which I think I wore this one for my Terry Bogard cosplay I did one time. I don't know, I think I got this on eBay. It was okay. This was the unofficially licensed older hat, but again not as accurate, but this is actually, it has an SNK tag. This was officially licensed. So I am a fan of Terry. He's my favorite fighting game character. One of my early exposures to Terry was in these anime, so I'll talk about those in a future video and how I feel about them now. But for now, we're just going to get into the first Fatal Fury game here. And I have a lot of these on my Switch. A lot of SNK games are available on the Switch. And not just the Switch, they're available also on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but I have these on the Switch. I don't know how much of the game I'll play through, but this will just give you an idea of what Fatal Fury was like when it started. It definitely got better over time, but this was the first Fatal Fury game. This is the first appearance of Terry Bogard, to my knowledge. So in this game you can play as either Terry, his brother Andy, or their friend Joe, as you see here on the player select screen. And obviously, I keep hitting the start. We're going to play as Terry. Now Tong Fu Ru, he was in the anime. In the anime, he trained Terry. So that's an idea of what the Power Wave looked like originally. Now you could switch background and foreground in this game, which was neat. I'm really not sure what button what button is what. Let me look at the button settings here. DBAC. So all you have in this is a punch, a kick, and a throw button. That's it. I couldn't remember how it was set up in the original Fatal Fury. So that's really interesting because, a lot of fighting games you have a weak punch, a medium punch, a strong punch. Even in later games, I know that in King of Fighters there are only 4 buttons for those fighting games. There's weak and, heavy punch, weak, heavy kick. But anyway, let's go back to the game. Now that I've lost my first round here. see, I don't really know all of the move sets for Terry in this game. I know some of the moves, obviously, but so I'm basing it kind of on my knowledge of King of Fighters, which are better games, but I don't know if I can do the crack shot in this game. It's not, if you can do it, it's a different combination than I'm used to for the buttons. Power Wave obviously is the same. There's no power geyser in this game, I know. Rising tackles, hold down and press up and punch, which is the same as in future games. So I've played Fatal Fury before, but I don't really play this game a lot because, like I said, I'm more used to Terry and the King of Fighters games, which we're going to look at those. We're going to look at Mark of the Wolves, Garou. That was the last game in the Fatal Fury series. So, if you notice, my channel name here on YouTube is Hungry Wolf Garou. So Hungry Wolf is Terry's nickname, and the game in Japan is Garou Densetsu. So I just took both of those and put them together for my head start a lot trying to continue in things. I forget that you have to use the bumpers to put coins in the way these are set up. Anyway, that's where the Hungry Wolf Garou name comes from, for those that are curious why I have that name. Some people, when they see my gamer tag, they think Hungry Wolf is from Hungry Like the Wolf, which I love Duran Duran, and I love that song, but that's not where I got the name. And I originally did just use Hungry Wolf by itself, but I changed, I added Garou to it because I couldn't get Hungry Wolf by itself for, I think when I first got on my Xbox 360 for my gamer tag, somebody already had Hungry Wolf, so I went with Hungry Wolf Garou, and that's kind of just been what I've stuck with since then. Interesting. I mean, he gets a lot stronger when he powers up like this, so. I think he does more damage. As far as Fatal Fury games, my favorite Fatal Fury games are probably the Real Bout games. So there's Fatal Fury, Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, Fatal Fury 3, Real Bout Fatal Fury 1, Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, Real Bout Special, I think. Oh gosh. Kind of feel bad that I keep getting beaten here on Hung Furu, but do I have a... Okay, good. I do have that too. Alright. I believe you can play as 2 players cooperatively in this game, which is interesting. You can see the 2-player start is set on the first player. Now you can play that way up till towards the end of the game, I think, and then you fight each other before the final part of the game. I haven't really ever tried it. I might try to do that one day. Maybe we'll see what it's like to play that way. I might see if Nathan wants to play one time on here with me, and we'll play through Fatal Fury, maybe the 2-player mode, just to check it out. The first time I played a Fatal Fury game was probably at Pizza Hut here in Augusta back in the 90s when they had an arcade machine. When I was a kid, like if there was an arcade cabinet at a restaurant, I'd want to play on it. So I know that the Pizza Hut had an MVS cabinet. I don't remember for sure what games they had, but I know there was Art of Fighting on it. I know I played a Fatal Fury game on it. That was probably the first time I ever played Fatal Fury, but that was not anything that got me into Fatal Fury, and it may not have been the first Fatal Fury game either, but that was my first experience with these characters in this game. I know I played, I saw the anime probably before I really got into Fatal Fury, and then when I was in college, my first year of college, they had an MVS cabinet at the school that had King of Fighters 99 on it, and I played a lot of that. A lot of people's favorite King of Fighters is 98, but I really do like 99 a lot. Richard Meyer's the only one that can grab onto those pipes, and you can't play as him in this game, so it's kind of interesting that these characters have certain abilities that are locked to them, but you can only play as Terry, Andy, or Joe. Now, Fatal Fury Special, you can play as other characters. Because I think Fatal Fury 2 might be the same way, where you can only play as Terry, Andy, and Joe. I don't remember, though. I could be wrong about that. But I know some of these characters from the first Fatal Fury are in Special, and you can play as them for the first time there. Now, Fatal Fury 3, I had on PC, of all things, and it's the game that is the first appearance of Mary Ryan, or Blue Mary, who is one of my other favorite characters. So my favorite fighting game characters of all time, Terry and Mary, absolutely. I seem to be doing better now. I don't know if these are just tapping the punch button or what. Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of funny. I forgot about that. If you've ever played one of those in the arcade, it's kind of fun just to have those little arm wrestling machines. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. But the last time I saw one was probably at Universal Studios. I can't remember if I saw one in San Francisco when I was there. Maybe San Francisco was the last time. No, San Francisco was the last time I played on one of those. So that was 2 years ago, but I've definitely seen them before. Before I went to San Francisco on that trip was definitely the last time I saw one of those arm wrestling machines. Was definitely in Orlando. I remember Nathan playing on those. I think he broke one once, or we thought he did. So is anybody else? I know some people aren't happy about Terry coming to Smash. For me, obviously being a fan of the character, I'm really happy he's coming to Smash Brothers. So, what's your opinion though? Just tell me in the comments if you're looking forward to it or not. I know there's other characters people want, but I mean, still have a 5th character who hasn't been revealed yet. We still have another fight pass that's coming, so we know we're getting more characters. So, I might go ahead and just quit after I lose this last life here, and we'll move on to another game. Again, as in the videos I recorded yesterday, I apologize. I'm sick right now, so that's why I'm coughing. Alright, so now we're going to look at... Let's look at Real Bout Fatal Fury a little bit. Was this Real Bout 2, I think? all the Fatal Fury games are available on the Switch. I do know that. So if you're interested in checking out some of Terry's games, and you don't want to play the King of Fighters games, all the Real Bout games, all the Fatal Fury games, all the Real Bout games too, but all the Fatal Fury games are on the Switch. I'm not sure, because I know all of the ACA games that got released are different on different consoles. There are games that have been released on the other consoles that haven't been released yet on the Switch. Like, I know that they have not released Bubble Bobble yet, the arcade version on the Switch, but they've released the arcade version of that on other consoles. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know how many King of Fighters games are available. I haven't looked, but there's a lot of King of Fighters games available too. I've got some of them. I know I've got 98. I've got 99. I've got 2000. And the King of Fighters 94, I think, was on sale recently. Alright, so again, got a nice cast of characters here. Mary's in these. Mai, who's on my shirt, who's very popular. But we're going to go ahead and play Terry in all these games. So, you can definitely tell the improvement in the look of characters in this game compared to the original Fatal Fury. And until Garou, this was the last Fatal Fury game that had been made, I believe. One thing I do not have for my Switch yet is a fight stick. I'd like to get one eventually. I've looked at several before in the past, I just haven't gotten one yet. But I love fighting games. This is the first fighting game stuff I've posted here on this channel. I'll be posting a lot more in the future. I'm trying to figure out how to do a Power Geyser. I'm sure it's on here, but maybe I just don't know the correct way, the correct input for that. I like fighting games. I'm not a pro at anything fighting-wise, but I do enjoy playing them. I love the characters. I'm never one that really worries about tier lists or anything with the fighting game or who's the best person to play as. I just tend to stick with the characters I like the best. So. I believe all of the Real Bout games are more in this style. The Fatal Fury games are more in the style of the original Fatal Fury as far as visuals, I believe. I think this guy was in Fatal Fury 3, if I'm not mistaken. This will be the last fight I do on this game before we move on. In the future, I may do some full playthroughs of some fighting games, just so you can see the full story play out, I guess, for different characters if you're interested in that. You can look forward to seeing a lot more fighting games. It's one of my favorite game types I'm really wanting to do a video on Tatsunoko versus Capcom, for example. That's one of my favorite games. It's a great crossover game, and just because I love stuff like Gatchaman and being able to play as those characters is really cool. Alright, so we're going to quit out of this and we'll go play a... let's look at Garo, and then we'll look into the Fatal Fury games. Into the King of Fighters games. Alright, so this is the last game in the Fatal Fury series of games. It wasn't called Fatal Fury in America. They still kept the Garo name for this. So you'll be able to see the characters look different in this. It takes place years later, so I'll play as Terry. I say the characters. Terry's the only returning character, I think, for this. So, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've played this, but yeah, Terry's the only returning character. Everybody else is brand new. It's kind of like a Street Fighter 3 situation. When Street Fighter 3 came out, the only returning characters were Ken and Ryu, and then they had a whole bunch of new characters, which I love Street Fighter 3, so it didn't really bother me too much. But I know it turned some people off who wanted those characters to return. And of course, in Street Fighter 4 and 5, we got a lot of those older characters back. And eventually, in Street Fighter 3, we did get Akuma and Chun-Li back, but so this is Terry in this game. So his Chuck Taylor's, his red jacket is gone. His red jacket is gone. His red hat is gone. He's a little bit beefier. So, yeah, Terry's jacket's interesting. He had, if you were paying attention in Fatal Fury 1, he had sleeves on his jacket, and they were rolled up, but he had sleeves on it. I think Fatal Fury 2 is when the jacket lost its sleeves. And then in the Real Bout game, of course, he didn't have that, but he still had short sleeves, I think, on his shirt in Fatal Fury games. But in the shirts, even the shirt sleeves on the white shirt underneath the sleeveless jacket are torn in the King of Fighters games. So we'll play through 3 characters like we did in the last one.
Round 1. Fight.
Now I'm hoping that Terry and Smash Brothers will have an alternate costume of this version of him. That'd be really cool. Probably a lot of people think he will. And it's highly likely, I think, but we'll see. My favorite fighting game with Terry is Capcom vs. SNK 2. Probably my favorite fighting game. I would love a Capcom vs. SNK 3, only I'm afraid it would not be with the sprite the sprites like they've had in the past, like in Capcom vs. SNK 2. That was beautiful sprite work. Unfortunately, it would probably look more like something like the newer King of Fighters or the Street Fighter 5, 4 or 5, I guess. And I like Street Fighter 4 and 5, and I like, I actually haven't played the newer, King of Fighters game on PlayStation 4. I do plan to get it eventually and play it, but I haven't played it yet. But I know it's a lot different of a look because I think the same models were used in SNK. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. Although in that game you can't duck for some reason, but the models were used, I think, from that game. So, and they look fine, but it's just not the same to me as. That's such a great move. It's just not the same, you know. Even like some hand-drawn 2D animation for the game would be great, but.
Round 2. Fight!
Now there's a live-action King of Fighters movie, and it's really bad. I can't believe quite how bad it is. I feel like there's a story you could use from the King of Fighters games and the characters you have to use, and you could make something good, I think, but they just chose not to.
Final round. Fight!
I lost anyway there, so. Alright, so 3 fights, we'll move on. So let's look at. Well, I don't know why I went to sleep mode. Let's look at some of my favorite SNK fighting games, King of Fighters. I'm going to play just a match in 98 and 99. They're all similar games, but up till 98 the teams were 3 people. 99 made the teams 4 people, and then that stayed in 2000. It did go back to just 3 eventually. So Terry, Andy, and Joe are the Fatal Fury team. King of Fighters was really cool. They took characters from fighting games and from characters that were from non-fighting games and put them all together and smashed them into this. So there are characters from different SNK series within this game. Some of the characters are original to King of Fighters. 98 basically had everybody from the games that were in the King of Fighters games up to till 97, so this was a dream match game. So even some characters that had died story-wise were back for this game. Kim was in Fatal Fury 2. I think Chang and Choi were just created for this game, I believe. For the King of Fighters game. Sometimes Terry has different moves in different King of Fighters games, so sometimes he doesn't have his rising tackle. I don't know if he has it in this one. I don't think he has rising tackle in 98. I am curious if Andy and Joe will make any kind of appearance in with Terry at all. I'm not as a character, obviously, but maybe costumes for Mii fighters, or maybe they'll just be involved in a special or something. So the story of Fatal Fury, for those who are wondering, Terry and Andy are brothers, adopted, and their father is murdered by Geese Howard, and so they fight. The tournament in Fatal Fury is called the King of Fighters tournament. So they fight in the King of Fighters tournament to get the Geese and kill Geese, and so that's how the game ends. Although I think Geese comes back in the third game. One cool thing about King of Fighters 2 is that characters, if they face each other, will have special intros sometimes. So there are games, not in all the games, but some of them. For example, Andy and Mai have special entrances together usually. Terry and Mary have special entrances. Terry and Andy have special entrances together. All right, 99 is King of Fighters 98 is most people's favorite King of Fighters game. 99 is my favorite. A lot of it has to do with me playing it so much, the arcade version so much, but definitely probably my favorite King of Fighters game. I like 2000 too, but I mean 2000 as well. There is a King of Fighters 2000 too, but I don't think they have any of the King of Fighters games on here that started to number themselves in Roman numerals, like King of Fighters 11, 12, 13. I think 11 was the first one that did it. But I don't think any of those are on Switch. Again, we're going to stick with just the base team for Fatal Fury, so that's going to be Terry, Andy, Joe, and Mai. So you select your order of characters. We'll do Terry first. I think that's A. And we're going to make Joe the striker. So the striker, you still only fight with 3 characters, but the striker you can press a button combination to bring your striker in to attack, just from off screen. It's similar to something you can do in versus games where you have somebody just come in to do a attack. I can remember how to do it, to bring the striker in the first place. I don't remember what buttons it is, but I don't really use strikers, so Robert and Yo Kuma are from the Art of Fighting games that SNK made. Rising Tackle is in 99 for sure. Kuma is the father of Ryo and Yuri. And Robert is Ryo's friend and Yuri's love interest. That was a striker, for example, except Yuri didn't hit Terry at all, so nothing happened. Guess I'm a little better at 99 than I am at 98, so I carried the whole first battle with just Terry. But that's King of Fighters 99. And again, I'm just trying to show some different games, so in the future I might do playthroughs of just one of these games to show different ones of these off, especially as I get into playing more fighting games on here. But I just want to do this video about Terry because, like I said, tomorrow there's a video about Terry being in Smash. I don't know, he might get released for Smash Brothers tomorrow, so he might come out tomorrow. I'd probably not. I don't think the characters necessarily come out when the video's out, but it's possible that he'll be out. But I think it'll definitely be this month sometime that Terry will be out. Unless it's been announced he's coming out tomorrow, but I don't think it's been announced when he's supposed to come out. So in this game, Mary becomes the fourth member of the King of Fighters team, and Maya went back to the women's team. This game you could switch the striker to another character. I think generally from that series. So Billy is also from King of Fighters games, or from the Fatal Fury series. I'm sorry. It's usually somebody that's not playable in the game. So I mean, Billy's not playable in this one, but he's been in King of Fighters games in the past. Now, Benimaru is on Kyo's team. Kyo is the protagonist of the King of Fighters games, or at least the original King of Fighters games. He was a protagonist. That may have changed. I think it may have changed from the '99 series. It may have been K-Dash that was the protagonist then. I guess Kyo's not part of this team, or they switched their striker. I don't know. I don't think one of the games Kyo's not part of that team, so it might be the case with this one. I don't have a system with Capcom vs. SNK 2 that I can plug into my game capture card, or I'd show you some of that too, since I said that's my favorite game Terry's in. But in the future, hopefully I can get something for my Dreamcast that has that ability. The Dreamcast is what I have the Japanese version of Capcom vs. SNK 2 on, since it did not come out in the States. The first one did, but not the second one. There were versions that came out in the States on the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube, maybe the Xbox as well. I don't have those, but also my GameCube, I don't have a plug-in for my GameCube that's HDMI yet. I might get something like that. My friend does have Capcom vs. SNK 2 for the GameCube, so I might do that in the future when I have that capability. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video with a little look at Terry Bogard. If you liked the video, just give me a like, please, and subscribe. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. Thanks for stopping in and checking out just some different games Terry was in. Hope you're as excited about Terry Bogard in Smash Brothers as I am. Really looking forward to seeing how he plays. I'm really looking forward to playing as him in Smash Brothers. And I hope you'll just stay tuned for more videos in the future and check out some of my older videos. Have a great day.